Hey fellas, your commissioner here, coming at you for a little five, week five of NFL action. As you can see here, the backdrop is a little different. At a conference here in Oklahoma City since Sunday. As you can probably tell, I look like shit, feel like shit, allergies full swing, a lot of late nights, but hey, that's baseball. That's baseball. So, anyways, Hogs. What do we even do? This week's been such a blur for me. We lost to A&M, of course. Times a flat circle. Lose a one-score game to them again for like the 11th time. What are you gonna do? Right? What are you gonna do? So, obviously, got some good news this week. Sold our house. Moving in about 2 weeks. Going to be in the new house for about 2 or 3 days, and then I got to turn right back around and travel again for another conference in Seattle. So, that's just haven't traveled anywhere for work for 4 years, 5 years, and now back to back. So, there will be a lot of varying backgrounds over the next several weeks. Timing might come and go. Obviously, I'm doing this on Thursday instead of Wednesday. As the evening went yesterday, just never had an opportunity to get this done. So sitting down, doing it now. And good for you guys. You know what? Give yourselves a round of applause for not complaining and crying. Where's the State of the Union? Sorry, Savoy, you weren't able to eat dinner last night. Probably haven't been able to eat all day today. So I'm trying to remedy that situation as quickly as I can. Anyways, before we get into the recap of last week's games, obviously people want doom and gloom commish. They want, scorched earth commish. The more time I have to, like I've told you before, if I did these videos on Sunday or on Monday, these would be very different. These would be very different. You get a couple days, cooler heads prevail. It is what it is, right? So, anyways, let's go ahead. Say that to say, between the allergies, everything else, it's probably going to be a quick, maybe not the most exciting video, but I'm going to give it my best for you guys. So, we'll start off with our coconut rum game of the week, to a battle of undefeateds. It really, honestly, kind of lived up to the hype. 141, JD pulls out a victory against Connor. 132 for him. JD is the only undefeated team in the league, sitting at 4-0. Basically, was right on his projection. Connor, way under his projection. Achane, that whole Dolphins offense looks like it's in some serious trouble. His running backs leave a lot to be desired. It does look like Kareem Hunt maybe is something. Maybe Dowdle is something. Decent stat lines from both of those guys. Let's see. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, I forgot to put these right next to me. Oh. Gotta love this time of the year. Gotta love it. I don't know if it would be as bad in Arkansas. I don't know if maybe it's just the Oklahoma air. I'm not really used to it. But because it was starting before I left, the allergies. But I've been popping Zyrtex 2-3 times a day, and I'm still can't catch up with this stuff. So, anyways, yeah, JD, good on him. He's averaging 130 points a week. He looks legit. He looks legit. Doesn't really have any notable injuries thus far. Kind of looks like some of the guys in front of his guys, at least for Gibson's going to get more of a run. But, hey, people said that about Roschon Johnson last week. And then what happened with Swift, right? Speaking of which, we'll go to our next matchup here, the battle of Flo's Fury and Keeping the Faith. Faith was decimated. Faith was destroyed. It was lost. Thought that the name change, the rebrand, would bring me some of the same success and luck as it has an owner or two in this league. Not the case. Wilson, good for him. He wins 140 to 122 to move to 3-1. I fall to 1-3. I'm basically averaging 120 points a week. Gino did good. I was kind of upset. I didn't play Baker. He gets 40 points. Gino had a really nice night Monday night, almost a 40 burger. But Carson Steele negative 0.4 points. This is a guy that I spent over 50% of my fab budget on, almost $60. And he had a decent game last week. This week he got 2 carries, 6 yards, fumbled the ball, and basically never saw the field again. And part of that was, the Chargers do have a very good run defense, but the Chiefs should have dominated this game. They should have been in control of this game. For Carson, that was kind of, hey, just by volume. But clearly this team really, really likes players who are pieces of shit, humans. And they brought Kareem Hunt back, and Kareem is the guy. He's the guy now. And Shamaje is the third down back, and Steele might get 1 or 2 carries a game, maybe, going forward. He'll end up maybe with a touchdown or whatever, but I can't drop him. I spent 59 fab on him. I can't drop him. So now you got Clyde coming back in the mix. Who knows what that's going to be? It's a mess. It's just a whole mess. All right. A little bit of a disappointing game. For my 2 big boys, Godwin and Metcalf. JT continued to play well, but of course he sprained his ankle. Michael Wilson, the sneaky snake guy against the worst secondary in the NFL, got 5 points. So there was just a lot of bad. I start Bucky. I still lose, but almost. I start Bucky and I start Jerry Jeudy, right, instead of Carson and Michael Wilson, or even Sutton instead of Michael Wilson. I win this game. This loss is 100% on me to not have the appropriate lineup in there. Just lost. I just don't know what to do with the second running back. I just don't know what to do with the flex. I don't know what to do with the third wide receiver. Obviously playing Ladd, that worked out very well. But Michael Wilson, I had him just locked in, pin and Sharpie in my lineup all week. Never thought about benching him. This was going to be the breakout game. It wasn't. So anyway, good for Wilson. Just a good, solid 140 week. Really, DeAndre Swift, 30 points. I shortchanged him. I said 25-point breakout game incoming for DeAndre Swift. So, and you play this game enough, you start to figure out the trends, and you just know, you kind of get in a feel and a sense for what's going to happen to you and how your team's going to perform. Guys like Carson Steele, Michael Wilson, they don't work for guys like me, right? And all my former players that I've had over the years who have never done anything on my roster, just seems like they always get up whenever they're having to play the old commish. So anyway, my team's dead. Whatever. CMC comes back, might save me from horse ass if he comes back. But I'm just not scoring enough points. The record's not good enough. I'm not getting really lucky breaks with the points against. I have the most points against and the 10th points for. It's bad. It's lucky I have any wins at all, to be honest. And this is first points against, despite somebody scoring 80 against me last week, right? So, anyways, yeah, it's tough. It's tough out here. Next, we got the Swamp Donkeys and the Father Figures, dominating victory from the Father Figures, 158 to 126. Get Ford to 500 and drops Blaine to 1-3. Mahomes continues to disappoint, only 20 points. But really, Ford, he was really carried by his three guys, CD, Kenny Walker, and Kamara. Wandale had a great game on Thursday night as well. Ferguson, solid game for a tight end. Anytime you can get double digits from your tight end, you're going to have a good time. I threw it away already. Anyways, golly. Sometimes I wish I could just extract this and just take it away. Look like Walter Goggins in Fallout. Yes. So, for Blaine, it's just a lot of, solid performances from all these guys, right? Xavier Worthy on the bench, 17. Maybe he's going to have Njoku coming back soon. Brooks coming back soon. Not that I think that either of these guys should be necessarily cracking his lineup, but for Ford, I think this is kind of more on par with how his team really is, talent-wise. I think he is more of a 160 type of team. For Blaine to still get 130, just solid production. He's not, but he's just missing those big blow-up games, right? It seems like almost every team in the league, well, a good majority of them have, one or two guys that are blowing up every single week for 30 points. And really, you really kind of need your quarterback to help take that lift for you. The 25, 30-point weeks from quarterbacks can really help your point totals. And the guys that are getting that, they're having much more success than the guys who aren't. And I think that's it's just numbers, guys. Next here we got All You Need Is Love versus the Two-Tone Hog Mollies. Nick coming off his worst performance in years to the formerly known as Curse of the 101, Taylor's version. Gets a strong bounce-back win, 130 to 122 to get to 500. Drop rips to also be 1-3. For Nick, it was just, that he made a quarterback change, went streamer, pivoted away from Anthony Richardson. It was the right decision. He won this game because he chose to sit his guy, right? So he sat his guy, and that made all the difference because Anthony Richardson got 8 points and Andy got 25 in a game that Nick wins by 8, right? So, Brian Robinson still looking good. His under did hit by 4 points, close, but still hit. Would have been a stone cold block if he had played A-Rich, but another gooser from Andrews. It was kind of funny. Kyle Pitts and Mark Andrews both goosered for these two teams. But Jaden Reed, Jordan Love came to life in the second half. Got 30 points. Got 20 points from Pollard on Monday night. 22 carries. Jeez. He tried to get you that. He tried to cost me some fab, didn't he? But for Rip, Chuba has looked great these last 2 weeks. Jameson had a long touchdown. Addison looks like he's back. He got one. No way. Oh, one carry. Yeah. So he had 2 touchdowns, rushing and a receiving touchdown. But his running back room was just abysmal. If he could have got anything close to the normal production of Breece Hall and ETN, he wins this week. But unfortunately, for him, I think he hasn't won a game since he left the States. So maybe he needs to get back home to be able to finally start putting some wins together. Let's see here. Oh no, he won 2 weeks ago against Josh. So okay, so it's not the Europe curse. Maybe it's wherever he's at in Europe right now is a curse. I don't know. He's been going to 10 different cities. So let's see. Next we got Living on Burrow time. Don't look now, Hawks are the hardest team in the league. He's just 158.9 to 142. Duncan falls to 1-3. Hawk gets to 2-2. Just a really tough loss for Duncan. After kind of having a rough go at it the last couple weeks, is able to bounce back. He's got a new quarterback in place. Kelsey finally got going. Ford looks good. BTJ starting to emerge a little bit. Terry's getting going now. Zach Moss, Josh Jacobs. It just looks so easy for some of you guys to score points. Like, I don't understand. I don't get it. Like, these guys aren't really, like, sexy guys, but you can still put up 130, 140. Why can't my guys do that? But, like I said, good for Hawk. Everybody had kind of left him for dead. King Henry, 38 points, been on a tear these last few weeks. Burrow's kind of getting going now, which gets Jamar going, and Pickens is going. Xavier Legette had 22 points, right? I mean, geez. He had one guy in below double digits, and that was Singletary. So, yeah, credit to Hawk. Good job, buddy. You're good. And then that brings us to our dog shit. They're all all over themselves. Hipster team of the week doesn't contribute. 85.8 points. The lowest scoring team by almost 40 points this week. We'll just round, say 40 points. Nobody else down there to share the misery with this week for Craig. Savoy wins 138-85. Good win from Savoy. Falls to 2-2, or gets to 2-2 rather. For Craig, he falls to 2-2. Jeff Fisher. This is who he is, guys. He's going to win next week against me, or this week against me, and he's going to lose whoever he plays next, right? So it's really quite something to see. 13 points from Josh Allen. In a game they just got manhandled. Kyron and Connor are probably the two kind of lone bright spots on this team. Oh geez, look at that! I got a stain. Wonder where that came from. Can't change that shirt. Got to change that shirt. Can't wear it. Odunze 2 points. Zay Flowers 2.5 points. Rasheed Rice 0 points. Gooser obviously he probably tore his ACL. I don't know why the Chiefs said it's going to be weeks before they can figure out what's going to be wrong with him. That just seems really odd to me. Definitely seems like he's going to be out for an extended period of time. But I mean, you get 4.5 points from your three wide receivers. You're going to struggle, right? You're going to have a bad week. You're going to have a bad time. Your quarterback's below 15 points. You're going to have a bad time. And the stars just kind of aligned because, his running back's got 40. Lazard's been Mr. Consistent, 10, 12 points in the flex. Kincaid's kind of getting going a little bit too. But just not a lot to get excited about on the bench. He does have A.J. Brown, of course, which hopefully he'll be back here in the next week or two. So slot him in for Rasheed. But it's definitely a huge hit to Craig's starting lineup and a huge hit to his chances. Like I said, I'm sure AJ's going to be back this week against me. He's going to go nuclear, get 30 points. That just is what it is. And then for Savoy, he made the bold decision of rolling with Stroud instead of Daniels. Like this was going to be the week of the quarterback change. He stuck with his guy, paid off, got a minimal difference in points between the two, but Stroud did have a better week this week. Mason just continues to get the production that should be mine, should be what CMC is doing for me instead of me having to start bullshit dumb players like Carson Steele who gets negative points. That's just not how the game goes for me. That's just not how it goes, right? So anyways, you got Diggs was good, Trey Tucker, a week ahead on the Devontae stuff of him being traded. He was on it. He was on it with Mason. He was on it with Trey Tucker. It's like every time I go to look for these guys, they're already gone. He's got Yoshi Boss. He's got Ingram coming back soon. Devontae, just got to hope that he gets into a better situation for him quickly, and this team can continue to make some noise. I think Savoy's got the pieces. He can kind of weather the Devontae storm wherever it may finally subside. But yeah, good for him. It's always exciting to see people score a lot of points. I just wish I could do it sometimes too. It's so cool, but I can't. Anyways, let's go ahead here. Another huge waiver run. It just continues to stun me. And maybe we've always had these many pickups every single week. But the way that Sleeper visualizes these pickups, it's just like, wow. Like it's 3 weeks in a row where 10 players have been picked up. You know what I mean? So it's just crazy stuff. Hold on. Oh yeah. Now we're busting it up. Actually, don't know what sponsor. Yeah, I guess we'll do that. Yeah. But anyway, so start off the big bell of the ball this week was Dontavian Wicks went for 66 fab to Mr. Moneybanks, Connor Plunk. Blaine was in for 57. Savoy was in for 27. Nick was in for 22, and I was in for a paltry 5. Certainly knew that wasn't going to be enough to get him. Certainly didn't think that he was going to go for 66. But, Christian Watson's banged up, should get him on the field more. Jordan Love, when things are going good, that offense is clicking, everybody eats. But there's going to be weeks where he does nothing and disappears, right? But there's going to be weeks where he scores 25 points and probably wins you a week. Second biggest was Tucker Kraft. 36 fab to Savoy's 6. The only other bid on that, so $30 overbid there for Nick. You'd love to see that. He did also get Tutu Atwell for 19. Craig was in for 6. Hawks in for 3. I was in for 2. I missed out on Trey Sermon, 11. I'd gone back and forth. I had him at 16. Then I took him to 11. Then I took him to 13. Then I took him back to 11. Blaine also put in for 11. He won the tiebreaker. I still don't really understand how those tiebreakers work, how they're determined. I'm sure I could read something about it and figure it out, but I don't have time for that. So, whatever. Craig picks up Jordan Whittington for 8. Nick was in for 18, but his roster was maxed out. Nick was ready to throw some cash this week, boy, I tell you. Connor got Justin Fields for 6. Blaine was in for 5. Some really competitive close bids this week, that's for certain. Wilson picks up Noah Brown for 4. I picked up Mike Will for 3. Come on. Hawk was in for 3 as well, so I did win a tiebreaker just somehow. I don't know. I also picked up Samaje Perine for 2 and picked up Clyde Edwards-Helaire for 1. So I have now 3 Chiefs running backs, and probably none of them are going to do anything other than the one I don't have. So, just throwing shit at the wall, see what sticks, right, at this point. Just who knows. So I don't need to be playing the waiver wire like this. I'm just wasting money, throwing it away. But I don't know what else to do. So, and then today, JD picks up Romeo Dobbs, my discarded trash, for 7. Rip was in for 2, and Hawk picks up Justin Watson, and drops Curtis Samuel. So, anyways, let's go ahead here and get into a preview of this week's games. What will be the game of the week? Yeah, got to be that one, right? Yeah. Okay, we'll start off with doesn't contribute versus keeping the faith. Craig's projected to win 134 to 133. Like I said, I'll keep this brief. AJ's going to be back. Blow up game. Craig has to get above 500. He hasn't been below. He has to get above 500 just so he can get back to 500. He's not been below 500 at any point so far in 4 weeks. Craig, easy. Next, Swamp Donkeys and Kickers Lives Matter. Duncan somehow, some way is able to put a team together. You got to think hopefully Tyreek can weather the quarterback storm a little bit better than he has the last couple weeks. Rumors he's unhappy. Maybe he wants a trade. Seems a little premature. A lot of green for Duncan. That's a lot of green. We'll go with Duncan in that one. Just keep burying the former champ. Next, Flo's Fury versus Living on Burrow time. Hawks projected to win 137 to 127. It's tough. I can't go against the hottest team in the league right now. This guy he's putting up 150 points back-to-back weeks. Plus, Wilson, I think, is a very solid team. He's got a lot of good matchups this week. I think it should be a close game, but I do like Hawk to win that one as well. And then let's see. Next, All You Need Is Love versus the Dirty Birds. I think this will be a nice get-right game for Connor. He's projected to win 148 to 135. I think that line, that total is maybe just a little high for him. I'd like to see him maybe in the low 140s. I think Rip, you know, the matchups aren't great. He's starting Brandon Ayuk and Jawan Jennings because he just doesn't have another wide receiver that's healthy. Ooh. Yeah, I mean, Connor's got tough matchups this week. You know, he's starting Justin Fields with Hurts on bye. Both of these guys' quarterbacks are on bye. Goff and Hurts. No Malik in the lineup. Interesting. I'd be surprised to see that stick, to be quite honest with you. Connor. We'll go with him. And then our penultimate matchup, the two-tone Hog Mollies versus the McCockners. JD is projected to win 139 to 124. Is Nick going to bounce back? Keep the momentum going that he's got? Hand JD his first loss. Is JD a 5-0 team? Does he feel like a 5-0 team? He doesn't feel like a 5-0 team to me. So we'll go with Nick to that one, to hand JD his first loss of the season. And that brings us to our game of the week. All right, our extra gum game of the week. Extra Polar Ice, Wrigley's long-lasting flavor. It's got 15 sticks, sugar-free gum. 15 sticks of gum, 15 opportunities to connect. Look at that. You share your gum with people, right? You make new connections, you build new relationships. And at the end of the day, that's what life's about, right? The fantasy football, you know, the real football, it's all fugazi. It's all fairy dust, right? It's the connections and the relationships that you build with people that really give you fulfillment in your life, right? Just like I love all 11 of you guys, right? If you all were here, I don't have 11 pieces of gum, but I could split some in half, and I would give you all the rest of my gum that I have. That's how much I like you guys, right? So anyway, extra Polar Ice, the official gum of the Burn That Wood Fantasy Football League. Cheers. All right. So that is the father figures and the Stroud boys. Ford is projected to win 141 to 137. Battle of the quarterback, you got Dak Prescott versus Jaden Daniels. Both of these quarterbacks are playing some two tough defenses. Stroud on buddy. Playing Buffalo. Huh. I think I'll go with Dak in that one. Battle of the running back, you got Kamara, Kenneth Walker, Jordan Mason, James Cook on the other side. Mason should feast. I think Cook's got a chance of getting a lot of catches this game, so I'm going to go with him. And I think that Kamara and Kenny kind of come back. Those projections are just a little bit high for me, but they could get there easily. But I don't know that I feel that this week for them. Next, the wide receivers: CeeDee Lamb, Michael Pittman, Wan'Dale Robinson versus Olave, Diggs, and Trey Tucker. Those two wide receiver threes, man, Wan'Dale and Trey, little slot shifty guys. I'm gonna push this one. To me, Lamb is obviously better than Olave. Diggs is better than Pittman. Wan'Dale and Trey, to me, kind of cancel each other out, so we'll push that one. Battle of the tight end, you got Ferguson and Ingram. Ingram maybe making his return. Hard to trust a guy who hasn't played like the whole season, really. So I'm going to go with Ferguson in that one. And then Battle of the Flex, Yoshi Vosh and Coleman. That's tough. Buys hit these teams heavy, for sure. No Devontae, of course, that's tough. I guess I'll go Yoshi Vosh. His name's cool to say. So that being said, I think Savoy's got a decent shot at the upset. Jaden's just gonna have to come in and ball out and do what he do what twos do. I don't think he's number 2, but do what twos do. And I think he's got a shot. But if Richardson is out and Flacco plays, Pittman's stock is through the moon. So I'm gonna go with Savoy. Let's go with Savoy to get above 500, knock Ford down. Anyways, that's all I got this week, fellas. Hogs are playing Tennessee in prime time on ESPN or ABC, one of the two. Probably 14-point line was the last I looked at it. Probably be a bloodbath in my opinion. So, but we'll watch it regardless. And the Hogs will probably, everybody's writing them off. That's exactly whenever they hang around and almost win a game, and against a really high caliber, high tier opponent at home. Probably a one-score game going in the fourth quarter, and we'll find a way to lose that game too, because that's what we do. This is who Arkansas is, guys. And once you realize that and understand that, life will get a lot less frustrating for you, I think, right? So, anyways, good luck this week, fellas. Stay safe out there, and as always, woo pig.